What's going on, guys? It's KY Not Kai the Creative, and this is the situation. So I've been on this trip across the US for the past 2 weeks shooting just about everything from documentary to street photography, even a couple drone shots. And it's about time I got to the root of my creative journey that started everything in the first place, fitness videography. Now I had gone back to my roots with one goal in mind, and that's try to create a dope motivational video for a complete stranger. Now what that basically means is I'm gonna pick one lucky person and we're gonna shoot a complete fitness video for them for absolutely free. So this is what happens when you decide to shoot a fitness video for a complete stranger. Now, the general concept is a pretty simple one. It's basically you're gonna have a motivational video with a bunch of voiceover that's in it, half decent audio that you're gonna capture on set with a good audio track at the bottom. Now, this is something that sounds kind of simple, but it is a little bit complicated from scripting and writing and things like that, and trying to create a shot list that fits the story that you're trying to tell. But it's something that you can do on the fly. You could take a night to do it and you could help figure it out. So if you are in a pinch and you are just trying to make some fitness videos, then you could take this general concept. If you want to find a way to create a great voiceover, what you do is list a bunch of questions that kind of gear towards the story you're trying to tell. Maybe ask what motivates them and what keeps them going and things like that, and try to steer the questions in such a way that the answers are going to speak to that final voiceover when you have your finished product. Now, considering doing this, I'm going to use a program called Milanote. Now, you'll see a lot of creators use Milanote. It's a great tool that directors, cinematographers, and people like that use to manage projects and to actually plan creative work. So if I want to create a shot list or if I'm creating a script, that's something that I can make a Milanote link to. I can make a link to and I can send it off to whoever is going to be in this video for the next day. So now that that's all complete, there's still a couple things I have to do. I have to create a shot list, I have to find a gym, and of course I have to find a model to shoot this video with. All right, so we are in 614 Lift out here in Columbus. So we're about to get it going. We're about to go start shooting, but I still got to find my model. So we're gonna go and see if we can find a stranger that can go and shoot this video today. Hey, you want to shoot a video?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Just for reference, our model, Emily, we actually met her the night before. We actually talked to her the night before on very short notice, so we didn't just meet her in the gym right there. That was me just joking, but it still stands. We still had to create this video. We still have to plan everything out in less than 24 hours and have it finished shooting by the end of that day. So unsurprisingly, I'm gonna bring my Sony FX6 for the particular project. I wanna get used to using it a lot more often. I do use my FX3 for these shorter fitness videos, but I'm going to change it up and switch to my FX6. Now, the lenses I did use were my 35mm and my 85mm lens. Now, I actually found somebody on set. It's my homie Christian, who's actually from Miami, Florida, who's up for the Arnold Classic as well. And we have two distinct different styles when we were shooting things, when we were filmmaking, and he wanted to try out the FX6. So we kind of switched back and forth between who was gonna be directing, who was gonna be DPing, and who's gonna be managing the camera and things like that. I find with projects like these, especially if you're working with your friends, try to leave your ego at the door. I know everybody wants to be responsible for handling the camera and creating all the shots, but to be honest, there's different things that we learn from each other. Christian has a different shooting style than I do, and I have a different eye than he does, so we started to collaborate those two things together to create the shots that we did. All right, so I needed to find a crew member, and I found this dude. So this is my homie Christian. You can just like wave, you don't have to say anything, but you know. But yeah, no, so what we're doing right now is that we're actually gonna split the DP and camera op duty. So anytime I need a shot or I see something, I'll shoot. Every time, I'll do the coloring. But every time I see a shot, I'll get it on a 35 or an 85. Every time Christian sees something, he's gonna get it on that wide or he's gonna get that on that tight. I would say Christian's probably better at finding the wider angles with the movement, and then I like my tighter shots. I like my close-ups and stuff like that. So
I'm not gonna find locations, that's for sure.
yeah, that's fair. Yo, he actually got lost, and it took about 45 minutes to get here. So yeah, $60 that's heavy. Yeah. So we had a lot of natural light coming in from that window, which acted as our key. Now, I wanted to mix things up a little bit and have a little bit more creative control, so I did bring one small light to act as a motivated light for a lot of those close-up and tighter shots. Now, this is the Tiffin Blender XL light. It's small, it's compact, but it is pretty powerful and it's pretty decent. What I like about this light is it actually connects to V-mount battery. So if you need a handheld lighting solution on the fly and you don't want to necessarily set up a big umbrella and a softbox and stuff like that with light stands and things like that, you could actually stuff the attachment for the V-mount battery right into your pocket and you have a nice powerful handheld light. Now, I use this as a motivated key light for a lot of the shots that we had in this video because it helped enhance the look a little bit more to create a better image. So you don't necessarily have to use a light like this if you do have a lot of natural light, but it helped us control a little bit of things that we didn't have control over. Thank you, Tiffin, for sending me that light. This isn't a sponsored video, but they did gift that to me for this trip to create a video just like this, and I could talk about it a little bit. I guess the roof is on fire somewhere. What I used my 35mm for was a lot of the wider or the medium shots, which I tend to do a lot of the time. I like that 35mm focal length, especially when I'm shooting a lot of fitness videos. It does come in handy, but we did have a lot of space to move around in this particular gym, so I did use the 85 for some shots. Now, during this shoot, I actually found that I liked shooting the 85mm lens at a little bit more of a wider angle. So what I mean by that is not necessarily turning an 85 into a wide angle lens, but just taking a bunch of steps back and actually getting that nice compression for some of those longer focal length shots that make things look a lot more professional, and it gives you a really nice and pleasing look. Now, to capture that audio for that voiceover, what we did was we actually had to go into the lobby of the gym, and we had to actually take the MK416 by Sennheiser and just use it as a reporter's microphone, and then just capture that voiceover that I could use in post for later on. Now, the challenge was there was a lot of background noise. There was gym stuff going in the background. Hopefully I'm gonna be able to isolate that stuff and make the voiceover sound pretty decent. Now, if I can't do that, I am going to turn over to other things that we'll talk about in the editing portion of this video whenever that comes out at a later day. But in terms of how I actually manage the camera and how I operated things, I shot everything handheld, and I do that a lot when I'm shooting fitness videos. It gives you a lot more creative control, and it helps you really dial in the shots that you want to get. I find if I'm using something like a gimbal, it's a little bit harder to do because the movement is a little bit robotic. So it's not something I like a lot for this style of video. And when I use a tripod, obviously I don't want to have locked off shots for an entire video, and that gets a little bit boring. So I do shoot handheld quite a bit, and with the FX6 and the weight that it has, it does work very, very well. Now, I do keep in mind a couple different rules when I'm shooting different types of fitness videos. For one, I'll use tighter focal lengths to shoot warm-up sets. The reason why is because a lot of times on those close-ups, those tight shots, you actually don't get to see the full scale of how much weight is there. Now, if you're shooting something like a warm-up set, it's easier for somebody to complete as many reps as you possibly need for your shot, and they don't get exhausted, or they don't end up hurting themselves because the weight is fairly light. Now, if you're shooting at a tighter focal length, it's very hard for anybody to see that. Your viewer might not tell the difference, and if you coach up your talent in terms of acting to really sell that effect, it makes things go a long way. Now, what I also did for this shoot, because it was going to be more of a motivational piece and the music's going to be a little bit slower, it's not going to be super high tempo, we didn't do a lot of shots where we are running into a shot or things like that. There is a little bit of tracking here and there. There's a lot of walking in and pulling shots in and out and things like that, but we didn't make things too drastic. One, we didn't want to walk into anything because some of that equipment is really heavy, but also because of the style of the video, we didn't want a bunch of crazy running in shots and a bunch of crazy camera movements. We wanted to keep things fairly simple. We wanted it to be lit well, we wanted good voiceover, and overall good storytelling. That's the end of the video. I did want to talk about the process of shooting a video, especially when it's with a complete stranger. Now, it does get a little bit nerve-wracking, it does get a little bit daunting, especially because you've never met the person before, you don't really know what the personality is like, and you have to schedule a whole shoot on a very short amount of time. Big shout out to Christian for coming out on short notice. I know I called him at like maybe 2 hours before I got to the gym, and he was able to make it, help me light things, help get different shots, and help really extend the creative vision of this particular video. And a bigger shout out to Emily, because she was able to pull everything together and show up and be ready to go on like a night's notice. So we did pull this together fairly quickly, but it is a creative challenge that I like getting myself into, especially when I'm on a trip like this, when I'm in a new place that I've never been before, and I get to flex some creative juices and challenge myself a little bit. That being said, if you like this video, make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe. I will be posting the editing video, the post-production, and how we actually pulled this all together at a later date whenever I've finished. But I want to go back to the expo, and I want to enjoy the rest of my vacation. So this has been KY, not Kai the Creative, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.